Hi, this is Stacia, and we are going to take a look at a training game that I played. This is on chess.com, and well, guys, I fell back below 1700, but it's not unexpected, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that, but we'll save that for later, maybe at the end. So this game, I faced Akira Khan. So when I'm allowed to put the two pawns in the center, I go ahead and do that. That's the most classical approach. D5, now countering. It's the point of C6. And I like to exchange here and then play the move C4. So when you play this move, you're saying, I prefer a more open game. And you're also saying that I don't mind having an isolated queen pawn because black could capture here. And if I ever capture, same thing. I'm going to have an isolated pawn. But, you know, this makes the bishops pretty good and allows for open files for the rook. So this, you can play this way. All right, knight to f6. This is the main move. I played knight to c3. e6, also the main move, I believe. I should bring my knight out now, so I did. Bishop e7. I think the main move is actually bishop to b4. And I'm used to having games in that line where you allow black to get some pressure, but it kind of works out for white in the end. All right, so where's my opening book at? Yeah, bishop e7 is second most common here, but this line scores quite well for white in the database. And we'll just review the line really quick. So in the main line, we now take, and after knight takes, I mean, this looks kind of rough, you know, we just simply play bishop d2, we break the pin, and after knight c6, we play bishop d3. That's kind of why you take there, because if you don't and you play bishop d3, then they take here and our bishop has to move again. Plus, I like the bishop here. I call this the Greek diagonal. And a lot of times there are Greek gifts in these lines. All right, and then there's castles. Whoops, black castles first, white castles. And the bishop drops back anyway. The bishop's looking to come to f6 in the main line. Okay, and the move a3, take away that square. Perhaps b4 is coming. Yeah, and then bishop f6. So that's the main line. I do recall this. I think I've had a game in the women's championship online this year. You can probably look that up on my channel if you want. Okay, that was a crazy game, by the way. Okay, so in this game, after bishop to e7 like this, okay, now I want to play bishop d3, so I should take here first. And he took with a knight. I guess that's the main move. I actually thought, yeah, of course he should take with the knight. The knight does belong here in front of my isolated queen pawn. So bishop d3. Now he should develop. Oh yeah, he went back. Knight f6. I'm not familiar with this move. It's the third most common move here. Knight c6 is most common. I mean, why wouldn't you play that? Castles is also fine. Knight f6 is a little unusual. It kind of makes me think that he wants to move his queen and not defend the knight so that he doesn't end up with... Oh, maybe he's just attacking the pawn. That very well could be. Okay, it seems premature though. Okay, I castled. He castled. We all castled. Rook to e1, the most natural looking move I could see. Yeah, it's theory. Computer likes it. Okay, knight c6. Okay, and I have to tell you, I'm fascinated by these Panov middle game positions. I never know, I'm never quite sure how to proceed. But I love learning about them. And sometimes they get crazy tactical. The theory says to play a3 in this position. Yeah, so I guess we're stopping knight to b4. So my question is, if I play the other move, bishop g5, is knight b4 a move? And the answer is yes. We would have to do this thing. I actually don't mind this though. I know this looks like an awkward move, but the point is we're going to play a3 and the knight's going to have to move again as well. So it says b6, a3. The knight comes to d5 though. Now we're creating a battery. So they stopped it. Okay, interesting way forward here. So a3 could be played to stop that whole idea, and that seems to be the main move. In the game, I played bishop to f4. So, and I went for this instead of bishop g5. It's also a move. I'm going to see what the engine wants. Engine actually likes my move the best. Okay, I'm happy about that. I'm going to turn it back off now. Okay. Yeah, and I was actually thinking I might jump my knight into b5 and have a little party on c7. A6, stopping my idea. Yeah, and here I don't think I like rook c1. Rook c1 often turns out to be a bit too mechanical in these positions. So let's turn on the engine. Of course, it likes rook c1. Let's turn on the opening book. Bishop g5 and bishop c4 play the most. Why on earth would I play bishop g5 when I already moved this? I already moved this too. I don't understand either move, to be honest. Well, I think bishop c4 has to do with defending the pawn, I'm pretty sure. Bishop g5 I don't get. Okay, let's continue. Rook c1, computer does approve this move. So, yeah, and king h8. Okay. King h8 looks weird, but I understand why he's doing it. There are sacrifices on h7 a lot. And he probably saw lines where he can take my pawn, but in the end I play bishop takes h7 check and pick off the queen. Something like that. So, that's why he played king h8, just to stop those ideas. Does weaken f7, however. Yeah, and I'm really curious. Sorry if I go into too much detail for you guys, but I definitely want to learn from my analysis too. So, computer says play b6 here. Wow, that just looks so risky. So now the knight's undefended. I have discoveries, but perhaps none of them are good. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, that's true. There's no... We can't make use of this. Computer wants to play a3 or bishop b1. Now, bishop b1 is one of my favorite moves in chess. I love the bishop here. He just kind of like, he's like a sniper, and then you play like one of these moves. And it puts a lot of pressure on black's position. I would follow that up with bishop g5, you know, get rid of the defender. Okay, but anyway, king h8, computer doesn't hate it completely. But it says bishop b1 is good for white now. I'm going to turn the engine back off. Okay. I went with this move, knight to e4. Yeah, what are other options here? Like I said, these middle games fascinate me. My idea was that after takes and takes, there's pressure on that knight. However, he could probably just take the pawn. I think that's what happens in the game. So the computer is going to hate this. Yeah, it says bishop to e5, which I considered. I considered this move. This is like a normal move that happens in the Panov. It feels so weird to give up your bishop like this. But this is actually good for white because now we don't have an isolated queen pawn anymore. It has now promoted itself to a strong e5 pawn. The knight can no longer stay here, so he has to jump in. And this position's good. We could even play bishop e4 now, putting pressure on this diagonal. It's a bit awkward. So I saw this move and I didn't understand it, but I think I will play that next time. Instead, I played this move. This does lose a pawn, but it's funny. The computer says white is still slightly better. Okay, guys, if you have watched my video, then my videos, you know that I just don't feel right unless I'm down a pawn. So, okay, he took it. All right. Yeah, I did feel like I was fine here, though. But it's tougher to play these positions, you know, because if you misplay it now, you'll just be down a pawn. So, okay. Now it gets very tactical because, well, I have some options here, right? I can take on f6. That's one thing I could do. I could take here. I could, what else? I guess those are the two main options. Perhaps this is a move. I don't think it's any good though. All right, so in the game, I decided to take on d4, which the computer hates. It says take here. So I guess we don't care if he throws this in. We just take with a queen and say, thank you for improving my queen. Yeah, and then this takes. And the computer doesn't even care about that pawn. It just wants to play here because now we're threatening discoveries. So queen e8. And are we going to defend the pawn now? Nope, we're going to threaten mate. Queen e4, g6, and then bishop d6. Wow. So it just seems like white has quite an initiative here. Bishop e7 would be played. Yeah, so this looks quite nice for white because we're fully mobilized. We have our rooks in the center, and this bishop is still a problem for black. So I would very much think that white is doing quite well here. All right, so I played the wrong one. It's disappointing to me. Yeah, I was fearing knight takes f3, and I don't know why. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So I should take this one. Instead I took here. This does allow the queen forward. Yeah, and that's why I shouldn't play it. Now when I take, now black has two options. They can, well, three options. They can take this way, or this way. Now I actually thought he would take my bishop, which computer agrees is the best move. And I thought this move wasn't possible at first, but I think I was imagining, imagining the king on g8 still for check, but oops, trump check. Check like this, but there is no check, so these are not discoveries. It would just be a queen trade. So that's not really desirable for me now that I'm down a pawn. So here, I could play the move bishop e3, or I could attack the queen with a rook. Yeah, computer doesn't love this. It's because I'm dropping another pawn, I'm sure. So, okay, but I thought maybe here I could get something going. Rook e2, queen b6. Now I wasn't sure what to do. I could play bishop e3 and attack the queen, but that would block my rook in. I don't have anything like this. I was almost considering this move, but I think it's just bad. Bishop e5. Yeah, why can't he just take? And what's so wrong with this? Yeah, that looks bad for me, so that move is bad. Computer wants bishop to e4. Wow, what an awkward looking move. But I do like the bishop on this diagonal. It's just putting pressure here. Opens up the queen so that there's no rook d8. Pinning the bishop. Okay, but I played here. Now, I admit that I'm probably worse here because I'm down 2 pawns. So I must be worse. But black does have this bishop still. The bishop's still an issue. Okay, he played e5. I mean, begging me to play bishop e3, so okay. Queen there. My bishop is pinned, but I do have bishop e2 to defend the queen if needed. Yeah, I thought this maybe was good for me all of a sudden. Bishop c5, that's a skewer. He goes there, and then I took the rook. So now I'm probably doing good as long as there's nothing crazy. Yeah, and I did see this idea of his. So attack the pinned piece. I mean, at the very least, don't I have bishop e2? Oh, no, I don't, because the he's attacking the pinned piece, but he's extraing the rook. So it's kind of a skewer back on me. But here I got an idea because we both have back rank issues, but I thought maybe I can make use of his back rank issues more than mine. So in order for that to work, though, this bishop cannot be here because I want to play like check. Oh, and this can't be here either, by the way. But if takes check, and the queen can't be here either. But I looked at these ideas for a while, and I decided on the move bishop b4. And I'm happy to see that rook c1 is the top computer move, but bishop b4 is like also very good. So bishop to b4. Why did I play here? Well, I thought I might be playing rook here or rook here, probably this rook, to defend the bishop. And I couldn't find a useful otherwise useful move for the bishop. But the real thing is to open up the back rank, because now if he takes, like if he takes with a queen, I thought I could play well, I could just take the queen. Yeah, this idea. Takes, and now check. That's checkmate. And if he takes with the bishop instead, like let's say here, I actually thought it was like the same thing. Like c8 check here. And now what to do? He's gonna have to block with his queen, I thought. Oh, he could block with the bishop. Okay, do I have bishop e7 though? Yeah, attack the pinned piece. Now what can black do? Must be over. Yeah, I'm threatening takes and then take with the queen and win the queen. So yeah, it says h6, but I would certainly take now with the rook, because that's basically a fork. That means he has to take, take, and queen versus rook should be easy even for me. So, okay, let's go back to the game. So it just turns out that his idea didn't work. Like, this bishop f5 move is really interesting. But after bishop to b4, the computer wants to play rook d8. I did see this. What would I do here? Wow. I could play rook c5. Queen here, I guess. This is a very scary position. Huh. Rook 5 to c4, it says. What is going on here? Okay, this is attacked like a million times. Like, he can't take this? So I was seeing lines during the game, like, if he takes here. Oh, the queen's attacked. What am I talking about? He would have to take this way. And now it says rook d2 wins. Oh, wow. Okay, I did not see this at all. Did you guys see this? We're turning the tables on the d file. That is beautiful. I love that move. I guess the bishop on b4 turned out to be useful. Okay, I wish I knew that's why I put him there. That's probably why the computer thinks it's so strong. Okay, but in the game, my opponent did simply take with the queen, and now I simply traded, and it looks like black has a nice fork. It does look that way until you see this move. So we get a back rank checkmate, one of the simplest checkmates in the game, but I guess you can still use them against 1600 players. Okay, so if you watch this whole video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on my rating. So this game brought me back up to 1680. And yeah, it's unfortunate that I fell below 1700, but here's the way I think about this. You are going to lose in chess. Okay, you are going to have slumps. Okay, if you're an improving player and you play a lot of chess, you're going to lose, and you're going to have bad streaks. So you better get used to it. The point of it is to never give up, never make it stop you from trying. And I always say, like, once I achieve a new high rating, no one can take that away from me. Okay, so I got over 1700, like, that happened. And I can always say that I made it over 1700 forever. So to me, that's an achievement that stays with me whether or not I fall below 1700 again. Now, that being said, I make it a goal then to break 1700 for the second time. And actually, I did a second time, so I have to do it a third time. But the truth is, if I'm going to get to 1800, then I should be able to plow through these 1600 players and get back into the 1700s again as well. And it shouldn't be too hard. So I am going to just simply keep playing chess, keep learning from it, and I'm going to continue to strive for 1800. Although if I get to 1750, I might hold there because I have other ratings I want to get up as well. Like my Lee chess rating, my classical rating is down. So I might switch to that one. But we'll see in the coming months. I'm not totally set on that. And if you guys enjoy the climb to 1800, I might do it just for you guys. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought this is a pretty interesting game, and I'll be back with more chess. All right, bye.